So, hello, this is Frederick from Axis and Willie.
We have two new companies with us today. We have Genitech and Brian Rosa from Protocol. Welcome to Unimatrix. Det är bara kineserna som inte har kommit än. Vi kör en. Nej, så vi har videotech.
Hi, do you hear me?
Hello.
Hello.
Ja.
Hello. Sorry. I'm Sebastian for Genetech. Thank you to welcome me to this meeting. Today I will be an observer more than a participant, just to grasp the information, what we do, and yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Great. Welcome.
So today we plan to walk through the technical charter from this year, and after that we are going to talk a bit about the next hackathon in April. Anything else you would like to discuss during this WebEx? Otherwise, Fredrik could start with improved charter.
Yeah, so I started compiling a document with some goals and requirements for this year, what we want to work on. So it's on a branch right now. If you scroll up. So it's in the private Git on the TB charter branch if you want to have a look at it yourself after this. And you can also make your comments there on a separate branch. So let me just go through the document as it is right now. It's just a draft so far, but so the overall goals, it's those APIs that we already have discussed before. It's the video API using OpenCV. It's the inference API that Axis has proposed to use the Laravel API with the TensorFlow serving API on top. And then during hackathon, there was plenty of interest to do a capability API using gRPC. So I want to include that for the goals. And then also it was discussed to have an orchestration component like KubeEdge in the goals for this year. Are there any comments overall on the overall goals? So if there's no, I think it's pretty ambitious goals anyway. So I think those 6 goals, we have some generic requirements as well. So these are also maybe not so controversial. So one generic requirement is that we should use existing APIs where it makes sense and it's possible. Also, we want to use the cloud native computing principles, which is centered around doing microservices. So for bulk data, we want to have zero copy transfer possible. And for network APIs, we want to use efficient binary transport like the gRPC. So far we have discussed two different languages. At the hackathon we were using a lot of Python, but also of course for the edge use cases it's the C and C++. I don't know if I mean we have now Genetec on board, which languages you want to use there.
Yeah, we can adapt to those. Our core business is based on .NET Core, but we can definitely, for embedded, we have also expertise in C++. We can go in that path too.
All right. So the reference platform that used at the hackathon was the Raspberry Pi with just the camera module. So, but I see we probably want to have a reference cloud platform as well. So probably an AMD 64 architecture could be added. And then I added some requirements regarding the SDK packaging. So these are all open for discussion. I just put some of my ideas here. So the basic packaging of the SDK will be some container layer. And so we want to allow to do your own efficient backends for hardware acceleration. Basically, that's how we do the packaging for OpenCV. So we have a base package container layer with OpenCV base libraries, and then we can have an Axis backend that supports our hardware. So similar. We discussed a little bit about this during the hackathon, how you can do your own backend to OpenCV for your specific hardware. So this is something I want to continue discuss on the next face-to-face. So also I think having one massive base layer doesn't make sense. So as much as possible, we should try to package different languages in different container layers, like maybe C, C++, since it's smaller as a base, and then have, if you want Python, it's an extra layer on top. Yeah. Also, we should start think about automation, so how to test and so on. So, I mean, we are using GitLab platform, so it allows you to do some automated continuous integration, continuous deployment stuff, which we should start thinking about doing a test suite. Anyway, so that's some generic requirements, just generic principles that I think make sense. Are there any other things anything you'd like to add right now? Or otherwise you can always, make your comments in the Git on a branch.
In the DevOps part, maybe thinking about observability standards.
Yeah. Any specific thing?
Like maybe some standard like StatD or like for telemetry, and I don't know for embedded how it works. But yeah, in terms of logging, there's another standard. I had to check, but just opening the discussion about observability, if we can build standards on that.
Yeah, I mean, so you're welcome to, if you have some specific idea, you can either send it over email on the Reflector, or you can add in the Git.
Okay.
All right, so regarding the video API, so we have already started some, it's not available on GitLab right now, but from Axis side, we have started some ideas here. So we would like to contribute this somehow. I'm not sure if the driver we have done makes sense to open source because it's very Axis specific, but you can certainly see some idea how you could do for your own hardware to connect into OpenCV with zero copy.
Okay.
So I added some goals, some specific goals here for what we want to look at during the year about the video API. Also, we should maybe start thinking about hardware acceleration using OpenCV.
Yes, will be fine. Doing more how to use the CPU with OpenCV or CPU.
Audio? Yep. Yeah, audio is something we discussed during the last hackathon. I mean, OpenCV is only video, so I think, yeah, it definitely makes sense to think about an audio API.
Should we have an audio API on the goals as well for 2020?
At least some initial investigation around it, I think, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can add that part. I mean, we discussed briefly at the hackathon that we have looked at two different APIs. So one is Pulse Audio, which is kind of today's standard API for Linux. And then an upcoming API that is called Pipewire, which is a bit more modern, and it's actually been chosen as the standard API for automotive Linux. So
Okay.
But are we open for discussion there? So I think, yeah, we should maybe add a goal for to investigate the audio API.
Yeah, I agree. Should at least look something.
Okay. Then it's the inference API. So basically, we propose to have the API that was presented during the hackathon as which is a zero copy API that's the agnostic to what model you use, as long as you have a backend that supports that model. We think we need this kind of flexibility because there are so many different deep learning processors and GPU and different model formats that we have to be quite flexible now, even though in the long term we might want to support only a few models. But as it is today, at least, I see a lot of different models being used. The one we showed at the hackathon was basically using TF Lite. Also, we have a support for OpenVINO, and I don't think it's in the source code in GitLab right now, but we'll add the support for Google Edge TPU model.
Okay.
Also, we have had initial discussion with Umbrella. Umbrella CV25 and CV22 should be possible. So we are in discussion with Umbrella if they're willing to open source their part so that it could be also put on the open source. But right now, to even get their tool chain and so on, you need to sign NDA, and so I'm not sure if they want to put everything open source.
But Umbrella is joining Unimatrix.
Yeah.
So we will hopefully come to the next hackathon.
Yeah. So next hackathon will be in California. So.
California.
No, sorry, Oregon.
Oregon.
Oregon. Yeah.
So it's not so long travel for them to go there. So is there any feedback on the inference API? Are the requirements good? Is there any other requirements?
For Videotech side, this was good. It was agnostic to the model, and it's fine.
Is Hikvision online?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay. So, I mean, we also had a discussion during hackathon about creating, because the current Laravel API is quite simple, so something more complex could be added on top. But the proposal for this year is basically to have the Laravel zero copy API basically for edge use cases, and then the TensorFlow serving API on top for doing the network API. Okay, so yeah, go ahead. Okay, then the other parts are less developed. So regarding the deployment API, so far I suggest to use just container the gRPC API as a base API.
Okay. What is gRPC?
gRPC is Google's protobuf based network API. It's so you kind of encode everything into protobuf and then you send it with a network.
Okay. That's for do inter-container communication.
Yes, even internode communication. So I mean, your colleague Ottavio was prototyping in the hackathon. He did the capabilities API or using gRPC.
And you have multiple language support for gRPC, so you could support different languages on different containers.
Okay.
Yeah, gRPC is like, I guess, the more modern way of doing an API these days. I mean, if we take OnWith, it's a SOAP and old style, and then we had JSON, and now a lot of APIs nowadays are done using gRPC.
People are moving from JSON to gRPC, and we are trying to go from SOAP to gRPC.
Okay.
But you could describe the interface and generate code as you do with SOAP, and it's easy to
Yeah.
use.
Since this is also a network API, we could standardize this in on with if there are enough companies that are interested in doing this. So we could create APIs, more modern APIs in Honor for doing the stuff we need.
That will be nice. Getting rid of SOAP.
Yeah. So here I haven't written down so much about capabilities API. So I've written down some use cases like query imaging capabilities, PTC capabilities. So please, if you have other use cases, maybe we should actually, we have a use case document. Maybe we should actually move the use cases we had from that document into this one. We have one common document, which is, I think the old document we had is Word. I think it's more easy to, if it's a text-based document for people to read and to comment and so on. Someone willing to do that? Maybe Dora, can you check if the use case document can be kind of merged with this one?
Let me see. I mean, what this page content with the case, right?
Sorry, you are disappearing.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you're cutting out a bit. We didn't get what you said.
I mean, you want to try to merge the content on this page with the use case document?
Yeah.
Okay, I can do it.
Thank you.
Right. Okay. Finally, for orchestration, so I want to, if we're going to use orchestration, I think Cube-Edge looks really good, but I don't want to have it as a mandatory requirement for a device because it's still quite big. That's my basic idea.
Regarding the orchestration, maybe can be interesting look how Hasio do these things. It's a software to manage smart device in home like light and switch, and have also the ability to install components that are basically Docker image and run this image and spawn, stop, and managing the life cycle of the Docker container.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, using Docker is basically a simpler orchestration than Kubernetes, I think. So I would rather go to the Kubernetes side because I see better scaling in the long term with the model I have.
And you have more developers going for Kubernetes now, so the orchestration is going Kubernetes, I think.
Yeah, the whole world is going towards more like Kubernetes, but it's still quite big. But I think it's moving target. It's getting smaller, like every release.
Okay.
But yes, if Okay, so I added some commons components that we could think about. All right, so are there any comments, any other things you'd like to add?
I have one question. This is Jack Mugida. So, installation part, coverage. My recognition is coverage have container demo. So, I think coverage or container D is cannot なんていうのかな。すみません、すべさん、ちょっとヘルプお願いします。Sorry, Japanese.
I think I understand you. So you're saying they are mutually exclusive, but I think CubeEdge lives on top of Containerd.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think in the next release, because right now, I think they required, or at least they have Docker support, but at the hackathon, Sean and Kevin, they were saying they were going to remove that part, and then that's why they could reduce the size of Cube. They were thinking it will be around 20 megabytes when they're done with that. But it does require Containerd, so it requires implementation of CRI, the Container Runtime Interface, and that's what Containerd provides. Okay, so if there's no other comments about this, I think I will merge this to master, and then we can. So Dora, you can make your changes. So try to include the other use cases we had, and then if you have more stuff you want to add, you can just create a branch on master and add stuff there. Oh, maybe we should. We kind of rearranged a little bit in the private. We have been looking at the governance. So previously there was a document called governance in the Word format. Now it transformed into two new documents. So one is called the Governance Board Charter, and then we created a new one called the Technical Board Charter. So the Word document is basically this governance board charter. There's almost no difference. We added Genetec to the board.
Okay.
And other than that, there's not really any changes in the rules. So this is basically the document that was discussed and approved, I think. So I think only there was comments from Videotech and Panasonic on that doc. I think Per has included all those comments. Can you?
That's correct. I have taken this into consideration and changed the text.
So is that mean Jetech is fully agreed on our alliance, right?
Can you? Sorry.
I want to say that can I say Gentech is already fully agreed on our to join in our organization, right?
Yes.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Okay.
And you'll have a governance board WebEx, and Hugo from Genetech will join that later today.
Yeah, there will be one more telco for the governance board day, right?
Yeah, it's in 3 hours from now, 3.5.
Yeah, that's why they.
That's why I sent the update, Adler.
Yeah, I know that. That's why the meeting I have is different to Dora's. So
Yes.
when we
yes,
talk,
yes.
we found a little bit. Yeah. Okay. It's clear.
And one we could mention here as well that we are in contact with Linux Foundation. We have the first WebEx, getting a team from Linux Foundation to guide us. So they could have some discussion points for charters.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, great. Yeah, it's okay. So next meeting, you mean Linux guy will join in, or?
We're not sure about it. Maybe. So what's going to happen next is because we first contacted Cloud Native Foundation, and they didn't think it was a good fit since there is mostly infrastructure, more individual products, not like a platform like we are trying to do. So their idea is basically that this is more like a platform, like similar to what Automotive Linux is doing.
Mm-hmm.
This product would be more like its own product under Linux Foundation. So we have contacted one person called Michael Dolan. So we will have and they're going to form some kind of group to kind of guide us into creating a Linux Foundation.
Okay.
So we will give them the charters, and they'll give us feedback if it's compatible or we need to change anything. We will review it.
We will put this charter in a public. When we are done here, we will put this in a public project to move from the private to a public project so that we can communicate with LF more easily.
Do you know when we gonna go to public with this idea?
It depends on the feedback from LF. So that will be a process for them to adopt this project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they thought. I mean, one opportunity would be June when there's the open source summit in Austin, but I think that could be a little bit too early because if we want to do a talk or something at the event, we would have to send in papers immediately and so on. So I think maybe after summer, maybe open source summit in Europe could be a good.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay, so please have a look again, even though I think this document is pretty much reviewed and we can move ahead and go in public with it.
Yeah, sure, we will. Yeah, no problem.
So, and then we created a new document for the technical board. So I think last time a governance board decided to create a technical board. So we created a new document about that. It's a bit shorter, so it's and we have some. The idea is that each company on the governance board has a seat on the technical board. So we have the same companies. So I'm missing one, but I guess Manuel, you can be the person in the technical board from the tech side.
I have to ask Ottavio first, but I can be the guy.
Okay. And from Huawei, Huawei side, is anyone from Huawei's side?
I think so.
This is Judith here.
Yeah.
I see you have the 5 future way. That's Shine.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. I think that's okay.
Should I put your name or can I put Kevin's name?
You can put my name here.
Okay.
Shine. Yes.
I'll do that. So since this is a new document, so please have a look at it. And but I don't think there is anything really controversial here. So, but yeah, before we go public, you can at least give it a chance to comment.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay, next topic then would be the hackathon in Seattle. So Axis is gonna kind of host it. We don't know if there is gonna be a registration fee. We haven't thought.
FutureWay was initially going to make the hosting, but they couldn't do it. So
Yeah.
we're stepping in to do it instead. But we're in the plan phase trying to find a hotel and so on. So we will send out the information as soon as we have found a hotel for the event.
Yes. So I would like some input from you guys, what the theme will be for the hackathon. My own idea would be kind of hybrid solutions. So it would be, you know, I mean, Panasonic, you were really doing this last time because you started off with an Edge application that did MQTT, sent a result to MQTT broker and so on. So those kind of applications where you have multiple tiers, like maybe a cloud component, maybe an Edge component, and so on. So that, because I think that really shows off how Unimatrix is different from OSSA, which is centered around only Edge.
And then we probably could have more companies doing the same demo. You're doing different components in this hackathon system.
Yeah. So if you have, I mean, if you have good ideas, please contribute them so we can plan. I think before the hackathon, we should definitely have a good idea on what you want to work on. So a little bit of preparation on what you want to do there. So do you already have some ideas? What about from Genetech side?
Not yet, but definitely around an hybrid solution, mixing on-premise, cloud, and Edge. But nothing more around that. We need to brainstorm what we're gonna do there.
Maybe for the next WebEx, if we have it in 2 weeks' time from now, we could prepare to have a discussion on the theme for the hackathon.
Yeah. Any ideas from Hikvision?
Sorry, you mean prepare something for the hackathon activity?
Yeah, at least so have some ideas already now on you would like the theme.
Yes. Okay. The first thing is about the runtime API, a standard API, and the other maybe we will prepare the gRPC. We will test the performance of gRPC and the REST API, and give the results and maybe prepare some examples, API examples.
Jämförbara standard mellan REST.
These two.
Yeah, you mean like comparing?
Yeah, comparing the performance and
Is that a presentation or something we do during the hackathon?
sorry?
Is this something you do before the hackathon and present?
Yeah, before. Yeah, before
Yeah,
the
so that's
hackathon.
good. So you will be able to do a presentation comparing
Yeah.
gRPC and REST. That's perfect. We could have that on the agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we are
And if-
talking about the hackathon part where we collaborate.
Okay.
Yeah, so we need to have
Maybe,
ideas about what to collaborate on during the hackathon.
yeah, if maybe we will specify some APIs and we can implement them during the hackathon and test do the test.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, okay. Any ideas from Panasonic? Jack, are you still there?
Yes. 求められた。ちょっと待って。ごめんなさい。理解ができない。Sorry. Please again.
Do you have any ideas for what
No,
to collaborate?
okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think this hybrid solution as a theme? Okay, please think about till the next WebEx if you want to do some have some specific ideas on what we should work on. Right. I think that's all.
Yeah.
Or do you have anything else you'd like to bring up today? Anything from Videotech?
I think the date for the next WebEx, I don't think we have.
No, we could set it for 2 weeks from now, the same time. That's okay with everyone.
Yeah, for Videotech it's fine.
Hackvision is good.
Same here for Genetech.
Excuse me. Really? Excuse me. Can you tell me again about the schedule for the next hackathon? Where and when? Is that confirmed or?
It's not 100% confirmed, but
Okay.
we are finding, so it will be Seattle and between April 21st and April 23rd.
So that will be okay. So currently the first choice should be US, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Futureway couldn't manage to host it, so we had to take over the hosting and arrange the hackathon.
We don't know. We don't know what will be going on in April, but yeah, currently that should be a little bit difficult for us to go to US.
We don't know the development. I know there are a lot of restrictions right now. It's hard to predict what is going to happen.
But isn't the same problem with Canada?
Yeah, I think it is.
No, Canada is fine because Canada they are open to they don't make any limitation to for Chinese tourists, but US no, we need to stay outside of China for 2 weeks. That is for sure. Currently, this is the current regulation. But for Canada, no, we don't have.
Okay.
So that's why, yeah, that's why last mail.
Think about.
Yeah.
We could think about moving it to Vancouver.
Yeah, it's I think it's that should be much more better for Chinese Chinese workers, and if we can make that in Canada, and we should have a lot of choice because we have different location over there, and they can do hosting as well. So yeah, it's
okay.
There should be much more choice. Yeah, we can provide.
But could he host it in Vancouver?
We have in fact we have a branch office in Toronto and Montreal. At Vancouver, we plan to open our office, but I'm not sure that should be a big location or small. I'm not sure. It's not confirmed right now, but in Toronto and Montreal, we have very special location over there.
Yeah, I think it should be at a convention center or hotel, so not on Hikvision premises.
We at Axis, we hosted at a hotel. We think that's a good solution. Or a conference center. So if that's possible in Vancouver. We're also thinking about, we have Facebook and Microsoft that would like to attend the meeting.
So we want to kind of make it easier for the West Coast companies to join. So because we have some new ones that potentially want to join. So we've been talking to Microsoft and Facebook. Facebook initially wanted to actually to host the meeting, but they stepped down. And then also we have Umbrella, which is on the West Coast. So we want to make it easier for them to join this event.
And many companies feel more comfortable going to a neutral location like a hotel. Because US companies have restrictions as well. So it's a bit complicated. Also,
we want to attract Avigilon as well. They're also Vancouver based, so that could be Vancouver could be a good option.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, Vancouver is a very nice place to go. Yeah, no problem for us. But yeah, we just want to.
I think for us, I'm not sure. Okay, we'll look into that part.
Okay.
Anything else you'd like to bring up?
My part is fine. It's fine. It's good.
Okay.
Anyone else have anything to bring up?
I have a question about the shape of the hackathon. Maybe it's stated. I failed to. Maybe I missed it. Is it like, do we unite as a team and do something, or each company will bring his own team and work on a topic where you will assist on the accomplishment of the objective.
So last time it was a little bit of a mix. So we formed some teams on site which wanted to do kind of similar stuff, and some teams were already like formed before. So Panasonic worked together with Axis on some things, and then so it was. I think it would be good if we beforehand know which companies want to work on like we can like form the teams beforehand.
And we formed it ad hoc and we mixed this time. Next time we think better planning. Even if the hackathon was successful, I think it was very successful last time.
It was good. But yeah, we probably need a little bit more preparations on exactly what each individual want to work on that's coming.
So if the next WebEx we focus on getting the theme and the task we are going to do during the hackathon, we could do the planning afterwards.
Okay, thanks, clear.
Okay.
Okay. If there is nothing else, I thank you all for attending. And speak to you again in 2 weeks' time.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Very much.
Here, bye.
Bye.